Alright, so boom, this is Charles Ingram.
You just won 1 million!
And Charles. Charles might be the most accidentally iconic scammer to ever walk onto a TV set with zero shame and a whole lot of luck. We're talking about a man who somehow fumbled his way through the world's most watched quiz show, Who Want to Be a Millionaire? Now look, Charles isn't your average dirtbag fraudster. Nah, he's a British Army major, clean uniform, medals on the chest, married to Diana, also obsessed with game shows. And her brother Adrian? Yeah, him too. These people weren't just fans of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, they were practically building a family dynasty out of it. Adrian got on, won 32 grand. Diana, same, 32K. And then Charles steps up like, alright, hold my tea, I'm about to win the whole damn thing. So what happens? Alright, so boom. It's September 9th, 2001. Charles Ingram walks onto the set of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire looking like a confused substitute teacher who forgot what class he's in. And from the jump, bro's struggling. Like he gets to the 4,000-pound question, already burned through 2 out of 3 lifelines, and sounds like he's playing trivia on Ambient.
Take your time, have a look at it.
And Ingram's just sitting there like, maybe? Possibly? I don't know what a Craig David is. Everyone watching, producers, audience, probably even the janitor sweeping backstage, is like, damn, this guy's toast. But suddenly, he's cracked the code to the universe. Dude's knocking out questions left and right like he downloaded a cheat sheet overnight. You ever see someone miraculously go from, I've never heard of that country, to lock in C? It's definitely Bhutan. That's Charles. And then he gets to the final question, 1 million pounds on the line, the kind of question that's supposed to make your soul leave your body. A number 1 followed by 100 zeros is called what? Ingram hears that and goes, yeah, I don't think I've heard of a Google before. 2 seconds later, actually, you know what? It's definitely Google. Final answer.
Bruh.
Even the audience was like, wait, what? And then, boom, you just won 1 million pounds. Cue confetti, dramatic music, applause. Cut to the producers in the back staring at each other like, we're being played, right? This is some Scooby-Doo level mystery shit. Because yeah, Charles Ingram just fumbled his way through 15 questions, sounded like he was guessing on all of them, and still won $1 million? Backstage, everyone's like, okay, either this guy's the luckiest dude alive, or someone seriously helped him out. Producers aren't buying it. Pause. Rewind, pause again, and it becomes pretty clear. They call in the studio tech team, and the team's like, yeah, we've got audio. You're not gonna believe this. They've logged 192 coughs during the recording. Turns out, so here's the brilliant plan. Step 1, Charles Ingram reads all 4 multiple choice answers out loud, one by one. Step 2, when he says the right one, someone coughs. Step 3, Charles locks it in like he just had divine inspiration. That's it, just a full-grown man sitting on national television going, is it A, B, C? And someone in the crowd going, cough. Low effort, low tech, high stakes. But then the producers rewind the footage and line it all up. And holy hell, it's a cough symphony.
I would have thought that it would be Aristotle Onassis. But the reason I think it's cricket is
like every time Charles stumbles into the right answer, there's this beautifully timed ka-hum from the crowd, like a human buzzer. So now they're thinking, all right, who's doing it? They isolate the audio, trace the microphone, pinpoint the seat, and boom, it's Tequin Whittock, a university lecturer with the heathy lungs who's sitting just behind Charles. Oh, and by the way, he was also a contestant on the same episode. At this point, the producers are just sitting there like, bro, you really ran this entire heist with a cough. It actually worked. But wait, what if the coughs weren't signals? That's what Charles Ingram and Tequin Whittock have been saying since day 1. They claim they're innocent. Whittock's like, bro, I've had a chronic cough my whole life. I wasn't cheating, I was wheezing. In 2003, after a high-profile trial that played out like live theater, all 3, Charles, Diana, and Tequin, were found guilty of procuring the execution of a valuable security by deception. Translation, they cheated, or at least the jury thought so. They didn't go to jail, but they were slapped with suspended sentences, fines, and had their reputations torched in the media. And yeah, a few people still argue it was unfair. Journalists like Bob Woffenden and James Plaskett say the coughs were taken out of context, edited for drama, and used to push a narrative. While all of Britain was out here roasting Charles Ingram over a few sketchy coughs, there was another group quietly printing money off the show, illegally. They called themselves the Consortium. Two masterminds behind it all: Patty Spooner, a trivia addict with an insane memory; Keith Burgess, a strategist who cracked the contestant selection system. Sounds complicated. It wasn't. Their entire operation boiled down to just 5 steps. Step 1: spam calls until someone gets in to get on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Contestants had to call a hotline and hope they got lucky. Regular people made 1 or 2 calls. The consortium, they bought hundreds of burner phones, hired people to spam thousands of calls a day. Eventually someone gets in, and that person becomes their client. Step 2: hack the pre-qualifying questions. Before you're allowed on set, you need to answer questions like, how tall is Big Ben? What's the population of Wales? Turns out, all these questions were pulled from the UK Office for National Statistics, and Patty Spooner figured that out. He downloaded the database, memorized all the answers, and drilled them into his clients. And if a new question popped up, they just had to guess close enough. And boom, they were in. Step 4: master fastest finger first. Before anyone gets to sit in the hot seat, they have to win fastest finger first. So what did the consortium do? They built fake buzzer rigs at home. Clients would train with them like it was the Olympics of button mashing. Step 5: fake phone a friend. When players finally got to the hot seat, they could use the phone a friend lifeline. Normal people call their dad or their roommate. The consortium, they rerouted the call to a secret trivia command center. Inside that room, one person picked up the call, aka the voice. The rest, 5 or 6 trivia nerds, opened Google, flipped through books, and shouted answers. The voice muted the call, jotted the info, unmuted, and calmly said, "Yeah, mate, it's definitely C, lock it in." To the producers, looked like a smart friend. In reality, a mini trivia war room. And the result, from 2002 to 2007, 200 plus people got on the show with their help. 55 made it to the hot seat. Total winnings, £4.4 million. That's 26% of all prize money awarded during that time. And the plot twist? Nobody went to jail, because technically, nothing they did was illegal. It was just ridiculously smart. Charles Ingram coughs a few times and gets crucified on national TV. Charles, this dude lost everything. Stripped of his army title, dragged through the tabloids, catcalled as major fraud for years. People egged his house. One dude even shot his cat with an air gun. Yeah, they came for his cat. He filed for bankruptcy, got fined, got publicly humiliated, and couldn't land a job for ages. Diana Ingram, same deal. She stuck by Charles, but ended up just as hated. Tequin Whittick, the guy accused of being Captain Cough, lost his university job. Had to trademark his own name to stop people from selling cough medicine branded after him. I'm not kidding. They tried to name cold syrup after this man. And while these 3 were being roasted alive, the consortium, they raked in millions, published a book about how they beat the system, and walked away clean.